Hey guys, it's Becky from Design Bundles, and today I'm here to talk to you about 3D layered designs. So what we are going to do today is turn this boring old cardstock into a really awesome 3D layered flamingo. Now, the flamingo is just what we chose because, it might as well be the national bird of Florida, right? So I love the flamingo personally. I feel like they should decorate my whole house. Unfortunately, my husband doesn't agree, so I get it in where I can. Anyway, to get back on topic, we are going to talk about our tips and tricks for working with the cardstock and then also layering these designs and how to make this the easiest project that you'll do with cardstock with layering.
Okay, so here we are on designbundles.net, and what I searched for is right here, 3D layered SVG. And you can see they have a whole library full of designs that are layerable. So, like I really am loving this apple over here. I might have to use that for when school starts back up. And of course, this cocktail drink over here is calling my name. So there's lots that you can use. What I'm going to use though is this layered flamingo. So once I open it, you can see that I get a little bit of a description down here. And this is something that you want to look for, is for it to tell you how many layers. Now, all the ones that I've looked at in the past have told me how many layers. So, it's something that I expect from a design. And then it also tells you, that it might be difficult to cut from cardstock. That doesn't mean you can't cut this from cardstock, but if you check out these layers, you can see that some of the details are a little thin. Now we're going to rectify that because we're going to cut it large enough, as large as we can, as large as a letter size sheet of paper, and that should take care of the problem for us. But if I was trying to cut this small, then that's something that I would want to be concerned about. So I'm just going to choose Add to Cart. Once it's added, I'll go to Checkout, click Checkout Now, and then I can proceed to, if I wanted to add any of my save for later, I can. But I can proceed to continue to payment. And, I like to use my store credit, so I'll use my store credit and just check out. Now I can download my purchase, and this takes me to my purchases menu, and I can just click on download files, and it'll bring me to download the zipped folder. Now don't forget, after this downloads, I cannot use this straight from a zipped folder. So I need to open this folder up, and I'm on a PC, so I can just choose extract all at the top and then hit extract. It will go also to my downloads folder so that both folders will be in my downloads folder. If I need to verify that, I can just go to my downloads folder myself, and I will have my zipped folder and my unzipped folder right there. So let's go ahead and jump over to Cricut Design Space. All right, so here we are, Cricut Design Space, and I'm just going to choose Upload in my bottom left-hand corner. Go through the steps. Cricut makes it real easy for you. Go to my downloads and find that folder. There we go, Flamingo. And I am going to open the SVG document. I can choose Save, and then once it saves, I can click on that image and choose Insert Images. Okay, now with all of these together, this is the time when I would want to go ahead and set my size. Now you can see it imported as a very large file. That is absolutely okay. I'm just going to choose the width. I know that my maximum width is going to be about, 8? We'll just do 8 inches wide. And it's still a little bit too long, so we will go 10 inches long. Okay, so that's 6.878 inches wide and 10 inches high. Now if I want to, I can ungroup these and view them individually. With Cricut Design Space, that's not absolutely necessary because when I click over to make it, it's going to break them out into mats anyway. So you can see that I have 5 different colors. Okay, so all I need is I can change my material size to letter for each one. Of course, if I wanted to mirror it, I can. You don't actually need to because we're just cutting cardstock. So this is where I will choose which type of cardstock I'm going to cut with, or any material, but you already know we're cutting with cardstock. I'm going to choose the medium weight because that's what I have. And now that this is set up and ready to go, I'm just going to go over to my Cricut and get these cut out. Okay, so when you have all your pieces, now what you need is one of these bad boys. This is a two-way glue pen, and it is absolutely my go-to glue for small, intricate projects like this. So you could pick them up at any craft store, not anything that's too hard to find, and it works. You know, like those the whiteout pens. That's exactly how it works. It has these little things on the side that you push, and it's got the roller ball in front. Okay, so I'm just going to start. Now what I did is I went through and I matched up my files. Let me see, this one is going to go here in the middle. I matched up all my files with how they're supposed to look. Okay, so if I roughly get them together, you can see like that would be my layered design. So once they're in position, you can go through. I start with the top layer first. Now you don't necessarily have to apply glue everywhere, but you definitely want to hit the major areas, and you want enough without it being too much. You don't want the glue to eke out. That's my official term, eke out. Now it also depends on what you're going to use this guy for. If he's just going to be a short-term decoration, then the glue is less important. You just need enough on here to make him stick. And if you have really small areas, you can actually just dot the glue on there, and that works really well too, so that you don't end up with too much. But you do want to move briskly. You don't want your glue pen to dry. Okay, so then I'm going to take the next layer down and layer this guy on top. Now I will have a little bit of wiggle room, but not much, so I don't want to have too much of an alignment issue, because what will happen is you can, until the glue dries, you can peel it off and do it again, but you'll still leave a glue residue behind. So, and try to make sure you don't get any glue on your fingers, because it'll make your fingers sticky. Okay, but give it a good pat down and make sure that all that glue is in place. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and flip this guy over. But instead, as you can see, this one is a little thinner. But I want to have this for comparison because I don't want to end up with glue on parts that are going to show. So on this one, all I'm going to do is go around strategically around the outside. And I'm only using dots this time. Okay, and then look and see if there's any areas that will overlap. Like I will apply glue to this part, because that's going to need to tack down somewhere. And then I'll also apply glue here, because I can see that that's going to go here. And I think that's going to be it for now. So I'm going to do the same thing. Line this guy up. Now remember, the light pink is on the back, so I can see a little bit of glue here where that swirl was. That's okay, because that's still not going to show, because the front is this side. You see where we're going with that? Okay, so that also means that I have this piece here that's going to need to be layered also, so we can't forget about those. But for now, let's keep going. Now this one is the thicker piece, so I can go pretty heavy with the glue around the outside, and that helps to make this go a lot quicker too. I still want to be careful. I don't want to be messy with the glue, but the good news is that this glue also dries clear. So that's a must when you're picking out what glue you want to use for your project. Make sure you get one that's going to dry clear. Now, as you can see, you also have some little pieces here that need to line up. So make sure you're just watching all the areas that you can. Okay, and last but not least, we have the very bottom base. Now remember, this one was only 5 pieces, which is really good. It's good for beginners, and you know, there are some more complicated ones that really get on up there in the numbers. So I'm just going to hit like the major areas on the inside to make it a little bit more stable. Okay, so that is the back piece. Now let's talk about these 2 pieces. Remember, we still have these. I want to, let me see, that guy will go there. So I'm going to add some glue for him on the back. Okay, and you want to make sure that you position it so that you can see the inside of the legs and also that inside layer of pink there. And then this will go on top. All right, and there we go. We have our, oh, evidently I had some glue down there. And that is our layered design. So these are really neat because they have a lot of 3D effect, and they're very versatile because they're made out of cardstock. So although they take a little bit of time to put together and cut, you know, this is something that's great to cut in the background. That way you're not sitting around waiting on it, and you can use these for party decorations. You know, my total investment, you know, with the standard pink cardstock, this isn't anything special. My total investment is probably what, $1? Okay, so definitely really, really awesome, and they're kind of a classy way to dress up card making and cardstock crafts.
So, what do you guys think of layering? I mean, it is really cool, and it doesn't get any easier than layering with cardstock because you have a lot of wiggle room to be able to take your time, layer your designs, that sort of thing. And cutting cardstock, I mean, why would you want to cut anything else? No, I'm just kidding. Like, there's lots of reasons to branch out. But if you're a beginner, or heck, even if you're more experienced and these are just really cool designs, there is never a bad reason to make one of these layered 3D designs, okay? Now, of course, Design Bundles has a ton of them to choose from. You can go all the way from relatively beginner all the way up to really, really gorgeous and advanced files. So, you know, you get to kind of pick in between where your starting point is and what type of project you want to tackle. But I appreciate you watching today. Of course, if you have any questions, we're very responsive. We love to hear your feedback. We'll pass on any information that we can. Leave all that information in the comments. Give us a like, but most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we absolutely have more projects like this cutie right around the corner. Thanks for watching, guys.